Good evening. Ira Epstein with your Metal Market Wrap-Up, and this wrap-up is for the evening of Thursday, the 5th of April, 2024, and the time right now, 6:05 p.m. Central Time. Figured out, by the way, if you've been watching my Spider ETF wrap-up, the bad quotes, we got it all fixed. It happened late today. You'll see they're still a little wrong tonight, but they'll be fixed for tomorrow from the looks of things. I was able to figure that out after probably 3-4 hours of working with it, what was wrong. All right, so now looking at the markets, let me tell you what's wrong. The markets weren't nervous at all about jobs report for tomorrow morning going into it. Doesn't make sense. This is a big number. And you've got to prove that the 3 remaining jobs reports, the 3 CPI reports, the 2 PCE reports, if you're a bettor that come June, you're going to be able to get a U.S. rate cut. You need these reports to start lining up. It's really that simple. So for tomorrow, as we take a look at what we've got, the non-farm payroll data comes out at 7:30. The main numbers, they're looking for 200,000 jobs. I've seen numbers as high as 215. And that compares to the prior month's 275. The jobless rate is expected to go down, and the average hourly earnings are expected up 0.3. Now, if you go up to 0.4, that's going to be a negative. Another argument they're making with the numbers as to why you're coming down is migration, the immigrants that are in and they're getting jobs. And there are a number of them getting jobs. How they get counted, I can't tell you. I can't tell you that everybody's doing things the legal way, but they are getting hired. And, you wonder as they come here how they're going to support themselves, because after a short while, they do get bounced from the shelters. So that becomes an issue, but they're also bringing some money with them. And that's helped the economy as well. So as they get themselves settled, this is what's going on. If the Federal Reserve just lets them into not the Federal Reserve, if the federal government just lets them into the country, I don't see the federal government cracking down in a big way. Are you supposed to work? I'm not convinced that's going to really happen. So we will see just how this all plays out. But tomorrow we're going to get the answers to it. When you apply it to the gold market, gold is up for a different reason, in part. Israel and Hamas have broken down their talks, so that's not going on for a truce. Hamas is playing the game that world PR is turning against Israel, especially with the killing on Monday of 7 of the workers from the food organization that should not have been killed. Israel's President Netanyahu spoke today with President Biden, who is now saying that U.S. war supply and other support is predicated now on Israel doing something to protect civilians. And of course, this is right in front of Israel, breaking down the truce talks, or they broke down in one way or the other, the threat of going into Rafah. And the world doesn't want to see innocent civilians in Rafah killed. Keep that in the back of your mind. Time is the enemy for Israel in this. Doesn't matter if they're right, wrong. Back in October, this is April. The world's now getting fed up with it. That is the problem. And Hamas is playing that card. They're going, well, we want to be part of the new government. Well, you're not letting people all return to the northern parts. They want to. Let them all go. Let everybody out of your jails. This is what you're hearing. And that isn't going to play. But they're playing the card because the world's giving it to them at this point in time. And Israel handed it to them on a silver plate in its own way by making some of these killings. In fact, not some of the killings, 33,000 dead, and now seeing aid workers die as well. And not enough aid getting in there. You can see what's going on here in the gold is you got a little consolidation. Can you imagine if you get an inflation story because of tomorrow, the jobs report? What if the jobs report is super strong? What if it comes in 170,000 jobs, all right? This is what you're dealing with tomorrow, the initial reaction to it. So at 7:30 in the morning, there's going to be a lot of volatility, and the rest of the day will be about, what if, and then we'll move our attention to inflation. But this is a big report. You can see how the market's holding up over all key moving averages. And tonight it's trying to move to the right-hand side after spending 5 days in a row over the upper Bollinger Band. In futures, you normally don't go much more than that. You can get an odd case like cocoa, but typically you don't go much more than that. And you're overbought in the market. All right. When we come to the gold-silver ratio, you can see how it came down to 84, and it's getting a little bounce back to 84, 83. But silver is markedly stronger than gold right now, and you could see it's in the fresher part of the oomph to the upside. This is a market that was $24 5 days ago. It has jumped up in price over 10%, just like that. So overbought very quickly and a breakout to the upside. The copper market's not languishing far behind. It's been fighting a battle to stay over the upper Bollinger Band. And it, too, is a market that was just recently at 396. So this market has added almost 4 cents to it, almost 10% in price as well, and getting a little bit overbought in price. And as I said, the one being pulled along, it's not the one you don't buy the weakest of the group, is the platinum right here. It's not overbought, but it's being dragged higher, and that's all that I could say. In the dollar, you lost the bullish momentum. You may go down to the 103.50 area or wherever that 18-day average comes in. What's going to determine the dollar's fate are these next set of reports. As of this time, I see nothing to not keep it strong because I haven't seen anything yet that says the Fed is moving off center and ready to cut rates in June. I understand that a number of Fed members, the majority, expect rate cut or cuts this year. Nobody had to say it's June yet, and they're all leaning, and they won't commit to that, as you've been watching, all right? So we'll get much more of a commitment or no commitment to June at the end of the day tomorrow. But you got to watch the Bollinger Band. You've got to watch to see what the moving averages are doing. And you don't stand on that train track as that bullet train is racing at you and you go, I'll be able to jump just in time. If you're a stock trader today, you saw what happened with that. Bollinger Bands are key, in my opinion, to keeping an eye with the momentum, with the slow stochastic on them, to have an idea if the market's going to hold up or not. Watch this forthcoming ad. It teaches you about how I teach that. You can always click up here at any point. It'll take you to the education source of Bollinger Bands at the IraEpstein.com website as well. I'm Ira. You take care. Welcome. I'm Ira Epstein, and I'm here to talk about my enhanced Bollinger Band course. Now, many of you have taken my regular charting course, and if not, you might think you know something about Bollinger Bands. As you know, Bollinger Bands are an algorithm designed to keep the market trading within it 95% of the time, and on a chart, it will offer on the top part resistance, on the bottom support, and the idea is the market will travel within them. We know that sometimes it latches onto that band, goes up or goes down. Well, how do you play with that? Can you pyramid the positions off that type of thinking? Well, I've applied all 3 of these into 13 different videos that teach you my concept of it. And from that concept, you're able to work with weekly charts and or daily charts. The 13 videos, each about 7 minutes long. The idea here is not to put you in school forever, but to teach. Now, if you haven't tried my complete futures research, I throw that in as well. Whether you've tried this or not, I think it's worth taking a look at. I think you're going to learn something from there. That research, by the way, covers twice daily market updates for you and access to what I call window envelope numbers, which I think are very important when looking at these Bollinger Bands. The next part is a trial to our charting software so you can make your charts look the same way that mine do. It's that simple. Where do you go with it and how do you get all this? It's simple. You go to our website, www.iraepstein.com. If you go to the word education, everything you need is answered there. You can also call my staff. They'll be happy to help you get set up. I'm Ira Epstein on the road to your education.